everyone. I'm Sudeepthi Dondapati, working as an associate professor at the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So, we've been talking about all these verbal English aspects, I think, for the past few weeks. So, now part of that verbal English exam, we have a few important integral aspects that are very essential for clearing this verbal English exam. So, now part of this, antonyms, synonyms, and grammatical categories are all together will have to they're very important. In fact, if you have to clear this verbal English paper, and once you have a strong grip over all these grammatical components, then definitely you can win over this task. And not only that, you have to develop your grammar, like I said some time back, that you have to have a strong grip over grammatical categories. In addition, you have to be prepared with other vocabulary elements like this synonyms, antonyms, and different other things that are close to this vocabulary or vocabulary family. So now, when we are trying to understand how we can really master this vocabulary, we have to think over a few important things. So one thing is, like, how do you acquire vocabulary? So is it very important? Yes, it's very important. So if you have to have this kind of grip over vocabulary, then what do you have to do it? You have to read certain books and articles where you get exposed to different areas of vocabulary, and then you can add to your this knowledge, vocabulary existing knowledge. And so what do you read part of developing your vocabulary? So you read so many other things like newspaper articles, books, and other any piece of writing for that matter, which is very good in terms of points and content, at the same time language. So now, when you read all that, so what do? You focus on some vocabulary words directly vocabulary words, or else you think about different synonyms, right? So do you think about different synonyms? You think about different antonyms. You think about different, like sections of words, like fill this column or fill this blank with a suitable word. So what is it basically? It's all about a word that is really in reality called vocabulary. So you call by different names and in different terms. So, but then the concept is the same, more or less the same. That is basically vocabulary, and maybe it's in the form of synonyms, or it's in the form of antonyms, or anything like that. But basically, you are trying to develop your vocabulary. So now, today, I have a very interesting topic for you. That is like part of developing your vocabulary. You have to focus not only on synonyms, but also on antonyms. So what are these antonyms? Just like in your schooling, you must have read, or you would have got exposed to certain opposites. Like you write opposite, you write a word was given, and then you were asked to write some opposite word to the question word. So what's that basically? Antonyms. And what's this antonyms? That these words directly contradict or talk against the existing word, and merely it's like just an opposite word, and which means it's an antonym, and it is against a synonym. Okay, so you have to think over it. So number one question is withdraw, right? For example, and if you have to clear this verbal English paper, you have to go through a few questions. Like, so part of that, I have a few questions for you that will help you practice these antonyms. And in a way, a short time goal would be like clearing your verbal English, but a long time goal would be like, mastering vocabulary, and that will be useful it's, throughout your life, and you don't have to sit and read and then learn, study all that in the later part of your life. So now why don't you get used to, and why don't you begin your learning right away. So now for the word withdraw, generally we say, right, withdraw cash, right? And you will say like withdraw your complaint and withdraw your application. So what is that basically? You are trying to ask someone to move away from what's been going on or what you want to be part of. And that means like withdraw, you take away, right? And now if you have to find out an antonym to that, so to this word, you have to go through a few options. So in your verbal ability, there is a question like they won't ask you, they simply ask you, just write the opposite word or write, an antonym of this word. So what's that? Withdraw means like, now look at the options. Reduce, need, advance, want. Reduce, need, advance, want. So you have to say reducing something, right? You reduce, like for example, like you lessen something or you lower something. So that's partly all to do with it's like high and low of any quantity. So obviously that is not the right option. And then B, need, is it to do with any necessity? No, it's not about any necessity, but it is about the basic requirement, or it's like the basic need that you have. So number 3, advance. So what is this advancement? Or like even you say advance means how do you do it? So that is again advance or advancement is like you go ahead, and when you withdraw and you go ahead, both seem to contradict with each other, and they are again something is supporting and something is discouraging you. So obviously advancing, or you advance, you go ahead, you progress, and you withdraw from that, go back, drawn away from, okay, drawn back. So all this will act as antonyms. And number 4, want. It's like it's to do with want or desire or need. They both all these words belong to one family, and these belong to another category, that is like advance or advancement. So now that is you have to do it. So to withdraw means to remove, to retreat, to advance is the opposite of retreat. So obviously it is the meaning, right? You have to do it. So you can choose this word. Withdraw means to remove or to retract, or to advance is the opposite of retreat. So now, question number 2, secret. Obviously you don't have to worry about it, right? Like secret means we said many a time you say it's an open secret. So it's an open secret means like what do you say? Is it something which is uncovered, or it's something which is very apparent, or which is very open to all, like, and obviously the meaning is comprehended and understood properly. So now options given here, or these are a few words that are very easy, that even a student can, even a student who is less exposed to good vocabulary can answer it. So when they make sure that they distribute, and they make sure that they divide marks to all the candidates who write it, and so that they see that even slow learners or students who are less exposed to vocabulary will be able to write. So now this could be the option. So but that doesn't help you in any way, in case you decide to learn a few words but not a very difficult and very good other words, apart from a few words which appear to be very easy, and which are very easy to grasp it, right? Like no. So the options given for you here are A, friendly; B, covert; C, hidden; 4, overt. And generally friendly means it's not, it's nothing to do with that. And covert is, it's like, you cover it and you hide it, you conceal it. And hidden, of course, the means the same. And overt is very open. So obviously you can take the option D. Overt, secret means hidden or covert. Overt means what? Open to view, open to view. So you can go with that option. Next, heartfelt. So heartfelt. So what is this heartfelt? Is it like, heart falling? No, it is nothing to do with that. So it's like you have to say heartfelt, condolence, or heartfelt greetings, or heartfelt wishes, or heartfelt condolence. So that which means it involves a lot of emotions and feelings. So when you say loving, so what is this loving for? Loving means you like something and adore something, and you have lot of admiration for something. So when you say loving is, is yes, of course, with lots of love you would offer your heartfelt greetings. It's possible, but can we keep that in the same category? Just wait for a while and wait until we discuss the other remaining options. And the second option is insincere. Insincere. So being insincere is what? It's like, you are not very sincere, right? Being insincere. You're not very, serious, and obviously you are not very serious, like, insincere. Or C, unhealthy. It's not very healthy. Unhealthy is like, it's, which is not very, good for health, and obviously it's unhealthy. For humorous. Humorous is, it's not lack of humor, but it is full of humor and it is really enjoyable. So option D, or humorous, is a right answer. So heartfelt means expressing genuine feeling or sincere. So sincere, heartfelt. It's like, you expressed with great determination and with a genuine feeling, and you say, oh, it's a heartfelt word or greeting. So, and so insincerity, or insincerity is opposite of this, being insincere, insincerity. So obviously, so option, you cannot say that, for example, it is unhealthy or humorous. Be heartfelt is like, expressing genuine. When it's expressing genuine feeling, then obviously it should be the opposite of it. Like, it could be insincere. So you can take the option B and forward with the other questions. Next. 4. Impartial. 4. Impartial. So what is this impartiality? We say don't be partial. You have to be impartial. So what is, how does it, understood? And if you have to make sure that you are fair and, just. And so you have to practice this impartiality, where you favor a certain group of people, and or you favor only a few categories, or you favor a few people, certain, like excluding them. So impartiality. Hostile. B, biased. C, dislike. D, worried. So hostile, biased, dislike, worried. So what's it like? Hostility. So when you say it is, it's people are very hostile, and you don't feel like, moving with them, and you feel they behave very awkward with you, and they're very partial towards you. So it means like a proper way of, manner, or, it's not a proper manner is observed there. in the dealing. So whenever you experience that sort of thing, then obviously you say, oh, they are very partial, they show partiality, and they don't favor others so easily. So which is basically, is about, it's like, doing more favor to a few people, while the others are not very much part of it. So impartial, hostile, hostility, hatred, and not favoring and against. Be biased. Be biased. Biased means what? Like you don't. You are not very kind of like, again, the same, you are not very fair, and he's very he shows all these biased feelings, or he's very biased. So that means, again, unbiased is the opposite of it, which means like you are very partial. Biased nature or partiality both mean the same. So that means like you are not fair minded, and you are not up to that. Next is C, dislike. So you dislike someone, you detest someone, you hate someone, which you don't favor them. So that is one more important thing you have to notice. So D, worried. You are worried, you look stressed, you look upset, you are down with something, you look depressed. So when you look depressed and you are stressed, all that will not help you. So like impartiality will go with what? Impartiality will go with unbiased nature. But if you have to talk about the opposite word and to speak against impartiality, then you have to take a biased word. Okay, so biased word. And dislike someone or get worried and you are hostile, and this hostility doesn't work. So all these three words, they belong to one category. And so you can say impartial means biased, you are so biased. So that is like you favor a few people and you don't really encourage them, and you are not a fair-minded person. So you can take the option like biased, opposite of it. And one more word I can say is to be very prejudiced. Okay, prejudiced. That means having a wrong notion or a wrong ideology, and you are not very open-minded, and all that. So therefore, biased is the opposite word. Luminous. Luminous. What is this luminous? Luminous is that, like, you illumine something, they say. And is it related to that? Yes, of course. So the options given here: clear, B, dim, C, brittle, D, clever. Clear, dim, brittle, clever. So being very clear with having lots of clarity over it, and being dim, that is it's not very completely bright and little dim. And C, brittle. So it is very it's very breakable, something which is very sensitive, and it can be it can be broken very easily. So that is very much D, clever, being very sharp and doing all that. So obviously and the meaning of it, word luminous means like shining, reflecting light, almost like luminous. It's like radiating. I know it's showing a very brighter side of it, and you can definitely take that into consideration. Like you can say it radiates, it reflects. Okay, it glows, glowing. So obviously, opposite of that would be like pitch dark or very dark or light dark. Lighter shade of it. So you can obviously take this option luminous. That means dim. Option B is the right answer. Next, awe. It's like, what is this awe? Oh, awesome, we say, like awestruck, awful. So see, two different words. Like great, positive, and very awful, very nasty, worst, and it's very very wrong and very bad. So when you say awe, it's like you are filled with great surprise and astonishment, kind of like a shock. And so you have to now search for this opposite word. Now, what is that opposite word? A, borrow. B, shallow. C, low. D, content. Oh, what is this content? So what is this content? So content is it, contemptuous, we say, right? Like you do not like someone. Borrowing is like you take, you lend. Okay, and shallow, it's, shallow is what, like, it's very, very, it's no depth actually, and it is very, very much on the peripheral lane, and it is in surface level thinking. Okay, being shallow minded person, we say, right? Like broad and low, high and low is to do with it. And contempt, contempt is something which you don't like, you hate or detest. So this all means kind of surprise. So out of respect and out of veneration is like out of great respect for that person, you will, you are wonderstruck, and thereby you get, you feel that. And lack of respect or disdain means, or, obviously contempt, being contemptuous. So obviously you can take the option D, contempt, as the right answer. Next to me. Next to the word, you have to choose a, opposite or an antonym for the word pit. Pit. You pit, like options given: group. B, pick. C, select. D, marry. Pit means group, pick, select, marry. So what's a pit? Basically it is is a whole, right? Whole. And definitely, it is like a little deeper, it goes down, and it is like when you go down. So you have to find out now this opposite word. So option A, group. Option B, peak. Option C, select. Option D, marry. So when you marry someone, okay, you select someone. The peak of it, a peak of it is a top of it, top, almost like the mountain top, we say, like the point, it's at the almost zenith, it's at the peak and almost top of it. So peak is the top of a hill or mountain, right? So you have to find out the right word. Now obviously when it is a little deeper and down, obviously we have to pick over like peak, the toppest one, when the top one, and almost like the highest range of it. So obviously pit will take the opposite, peak, as the right option, because it is they both are opposite in nature and one against the other. So option B is the right answer. Rodent. Okay, rodent. So what's this? It means like, it's like, completely, full figure, like you see it, the round shape of it, and you feel that it's of, in proper shape, round shape. So rodent. So round, and options given: unimportant, thin, dull. Obviously when it is full, plumpy, we say, right? Plump, being full of it, and it could be flesh, or it could be any material or anything. Plumpy one also, we say, which is very, a kind of animal, or, which is bit of flesh, and it's complete in, it's circle kind of thing, and which is not oval, or it is not odd shaped. So obviously plump is a meaning, and then you have to find out the antonym for this word. So obviously if it is full and plumpy, and then obviously it will be like thinner, right? Thinner and very lighter of it. So the options given: round, unimportant, thin, dull, and option C, thin, is a right answer. Next, talent. Talent, being a talented person. Okay, talent means what? Talent means A, ungrateful. B, silent. C, show. D, inability. Okay, inability. Ungrateful, silent, show inability. So what's this inability is? Inability is not being able to do it, right, and you are not, you are less capable, or you are not very much capable. Like ungrateful silence show inability. So talent is a special creative or artistic ability. Therefore, obviously being able and being creative is something that you can attribute, or you can you can associate and with the word very skillful and very talented. Whereas options given here are ungrateful silent show inability. Show, it's not about this. Show is like, it's about any display, and being ungrateful, not being grateful, and show, you show it something. And inability is like you are not able to, or not be in a position to exhibit, right? So in such condition, you can say that the inability of that person, we say, right, inability, not being very talented and performed. And so obviously you can take this inability is the right option. Ungrateful is nothing to do with skill or any talent, a skill or any talent. Being silent or noisy, they don't matter. And showing, displaying is also the wrong option. Obviously you can go to the option enable or inability. So that's the right option. Next question number 10, strange, or sorry, to the question is common to what, common of what. So let us explore. So common: A, strange; B, uneasy; C, quick; D, fast. So being strange, looking very strange, it's not so easy, it's not very it's not very it's like typical, basically, right? It's standing alone, and it is very different, basically. So strange. Be uneasy. Being uneasy, what, like you don't feel very comfortable, basically, there. So you feel very uncomfortable. See, quick. So see, where is this? Quickness. Okay, quick. And D is fast. Okay, being fast. So fast is that the option. So you be very fast or you be quick. Both actually you can keep it in the same in the group. And whereas uneasy and strange, obviously uneasiness is nothing to do with commonality or any typical nature, but it is again the complexity of nature that can be commented on the word uneasy. But no, the leftover option is strange, being very indifferent to already existing. So strange is something that you have to take into notice, right? Like common means ordinary or familiar. Common means ordinary or familiar. So you be familiar with someone. Okay, ordinary. It's very common. Okay, strange means being unfamiliar. Being unfamiliar, not being very, very. Not very being part of something or common. So obviously you can take the word option strange is as the answer. Now, for 11th question is brazen, right? Brazen. So what is this brazen? Brazen is a brazen, or like we call someone as a insolent person, right? And somebody is defiant, and we say, and he's an insolent person, we say. So that's basically the meaning of it. And whereas let us see that the opposite of that is boisterous. Is it boisterous or noisy or heated or bashful? What's the meaning of this word bashful? Somebody who is very shy and who is not very who is not exhibiting or is not displaying his or her ability, right? So we obviously say bashful means to be shy or timid, right? So you can take the option, being timid is something that you can really speak about this word brazen. Next, question number 12. expect. What is expectation? You say, right? Like you attend some, okay, you attend someone, okay, you regret over it, you don't feel good, or you attend your participation, despair, right? You feel very kind of like you don't feel good and happy no more, and loathing, criticizing, or not feeling good about someone. Okay, so obviously when you expect, what you is you look forward, right? And definitely it is very hopeful, it must be very hopeful for you, and it is very positive, with the positive look and mindset, that you really hope for something good, that to happen, right? Obviously you can take the option expecting something, as you regret, you despair, right? You feel don't feel very hopeful anymore, and you like you say, you think that it is all waste and it is all vain, and you are no longer in a position to feel good and hopeful. So obviously, you can think that being in despair or not being very happy is to feel very low and not so much, right? So you can take that as the option B, C, despair. Next, malodorous. Malodorous. What is this malodorous? What is this malodorous? So acrid, or like pungent, or fragrant, or fragrance, or delicious. So what is this word? Option A is something to do with a strong, bitter kind of smell. Whereas pungent, of course, it is very concentrated, and it is not very pleasant, and it's not very fragrant. Okay, it doesn't have any good fragrance smell of it. And then definitely delicious is to do with again the taste of something, and grand, which we kind of it. Obviously you think delicious, or delicious curry, or delicious food, you say, you talk about the richness of it and the taste of it. So obviously opposite of it, malodorous, is something which is not very pleasant to smell, and could be a bad odor. And fragrance or fragrant is something which is very sweet to smell. So you can take the option C. Now let me ask you to guess the answers for yourselves. Though I gave you a few, answers, part of the questions, but still, I want you to explain that. I want you to explain the definition, like I explained 1 to 12 questions, like I provided you with the explanation. So I want you to form these explanations, and how do you explain about each word. So now I want you to work on this explanations right from the question 13. Now, expound. What is this? Expound, right? You say, right, like expound someone, or you expound something. Like, so what's the meaning of it? Expound means like best match. Okay, best mark. What is this best mark? And second one, confuse, confine, condemned. Okay, so is that what is this, like generally the meaning of getting confused, or limiting yourself, or basmash is something which you feel very unclean. Okay, unclean. So it's very dirty kind of thing. So expound is opposite again, condemned. Expound is to encourage someone, or to say okay to it. Whereas condemn means you don't no longer support, and you don't support in any way. So that is the option. So you can go with the option condemned. Peak. What is this peak? Peak is like valuing, or gully is not very good, and smooth, or smooth is like which is very straight and very comforting. And soothing someone, like say good to it, and you feel good about it. And so soothe is something which is very good to you, and here like soothing. So obviously pick is something which is irritating, and which obstructs, or which something which you don't like it, hate, or kind of thing. So obviously you can go with the option smooth. Now let's go with another question. Dearth. So no, 17th question. Dearth. What is this dearth? Dearth of seeds, or dearth of food, or dearth of kind of any materials, like you say. So what's the meaning of it? So when you say lack, the options given are lack, poverty, abundance, and foreign. So let us see the near meanings which are very near to the question asked. Lack of something, which you lack something, like deficiency, okay, inappropriate, less than the kind of quantity that you may have to have. Next, being poverty. Poverty is again not being very rich, and abundance. Abundance is in surplus amount, having in full number, with lots of you know uh, amount, measurement. And so D, foreign. Foreign. So foreign is like, again, an alien person, like which are from outside. So obviously dearth means lack of, dearth of something, lack of it. So you can relate option A to this question word. You can relate it with it. Obviously, you can relate option A with the dearth, lack of something. Whereas opposite of it, like abundance, like having in full number and surplus amount. So option C is the right answer. Next, picked. Picked. What is this picked? Lowest point, arrogant, pointy, ruddy. Ruddy, what? Lowest point. Peak is almost the top of it. And lowest point, almost the base of it. Arrogant, being arrogant. So much of attitude, much of pride, displaying pride, proudness. And pointy is again, almost the peak, zenith of it. And ruddy, being being reddish, right? Ruddy is nothing to do with, peak or highest top position. So obviously, lowest point is the right answer. A bridge. The question, so you have to find out the antonym for this word abridge. So option A, shorten. Option B, extend. Option C, stress. Option D, easy. Shorten, extend, stress, easy. Shorten something, you lessen something. You extend, you extend, like you elaborate something, you extend. And option C is being stressful, and option D being easy. So you extend something means what? You extend, like you elaborate something, you extension of something, you make an addition of almost that. So you can stress is being very worried, and easy is to do with the nature. So obviously abridged version we say, like almost shortened version of it. It's like you compile a very big one, and a bridge version is like almost compressed. Okay, so you can think option B is the right answer, like elaborated thing, obviously. Next question. Kindle. So what is a smother, detest, enemy, discourage? You kindle someone. You encourage someone. Okay, smothering, like without letting them breathe air, you make that person very congested. Detest, you hate, enemy, like you don't like that person no more anymore. So you what is like kindle someone means like you comfort them and say good words. Whereas the opposite word, discouraging someone, you discourage someone, is like is opposite of the word kindle, right? Discouraging someone is a right word. So is the right option. In fact, you don't like that person anymore, and you keep adding very bad points, like very words. So obviously that's the discouraging is the opposite of to the word kindle. Okay, so these are a few antonyms that you have learned today, and in the next class I'll teach you a few more words, antonyms, so that you can use vocabulary very well. And even learning antonyms is part of enriching and developing your vocabulary. Right, until then, thank you, and stay tuned. Let's meet in another session. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.